Vancouver Island, present day. The letter arrived sealed with an ancient cross. Carlisle found it among papers Esme was organizing to donate to a medical museum. It was thin, handwritten, with dry ink and a firm stroke. Brothers in eternity, I have once again seen the light of God in something that belongs neither to heaven nor hell. A path, not redemption, a reversal. Signed by a name he hadn't seen in centuries, Père Laurent d'Aragon, a Franciscan physician with whom Carlisle had shared hours in the Vatican archives during the loneliest years of his immortality. At the end, a single underlined phrase, "The blood can be called back to its human course." The news shook the family. At first, no one took it seriously. Edward raised an eyebrow. Emmett laughed quietly. Jasper muttered, "Dangerous." But Rosalie stood still. "A cure?" she said, as if the word had no shape. "That's what it suggests." Carlisle replied, "That the vampiric state can be reversed. One can become human again." Alice looked up. "Have you contacted him?" "I'm still processing it." That night, the house filled with silence, thicker than ever. Edward sat across from Bella, not quite looking at her. "Would you do it?" She didn't answer right away. "Renesmee will grow. I won't." "I know. And you?" Edward clenched his jaw. "I don't want to be the broken boy I was. But if you choose the cure, I couldn't stay behind." Rosalie was the first to speak to Carlisle alone. "Is it real?" "I don't know, but the letter came with samples, serums, genetic information." "And what do they say?" "It's promising. The principle is simple. Extract infected blood, replace it with human stem cells activated by a viral protein. Painful? Extremely, and irreversible." Rosalie didn't flinch. "Where is that man?" Bella dreamt of Renesmee, not as now, but older, taking her hand down the street unnoticed, celebrating her graduation, hugging her like a mother who also aged, and upon waking, she felt the cold of her skin, the stillness of her body, the difference. Jasper hesitated. "I don't know if we deserve to return." "To what?" asked Emmett. "To being mortal, to having the chance to make human mistakes." "I mess up every day as a vampire," said Emmett. "Trust me, that doesn't change." Esme said nothing. She just watched them all. And one night, she hugged Carlisle and said, "If you choose to try, I'll go with you, even if it's to die together as we once were, human, in love, without eternal time." Alice couldn't see her own future, but she saw something, a fleeting image. Bella walking in the sun, cheeks flushed, Edward beside her with a heartbeat, Renesmee between them, grown. And she knew it wasn't a false vision, it was a possibility. But she also saw another, a gravestone, a name, a mistake, and doubt settled like poison. Carlisle traveled to Europe, alone, to an abbey hidden in the Alps, where Père Laurent awaited him with tired eyes and a scent of incense. They talked for days, studied formulas together, observed the results in lab animals, and in a minor vampire who had volunteered for the trial. He died. "Did the cure fail?" Carlisle asked. "No," Père Laurent answered. "He became human again, but his body couldn't endure it. It had been broken for centuries." Carlisle swallowed hard. "So, something more is needed?" "A real reason to return, something the body accepts as purpose, hope, an anchor. The vampire who only wants to cease existing dies. The one who wants to live another life might make it." When he returned home, Carlisle was no longer the same. "It's real," he said. "Does it work?" Bella asked. "In theory, yes, but only one of us should try it first." "Why? If it fails, we could lose them forever." That night, Rosalie approached Bella. "I want to try." "I know, but if you do it too, we won't know which of us succeeds." Bella looked at her kindly. "It's not a race, isn't it? For me it is. A race against eternity, against what was taken from me." Bella looked down. "Maybe it's a race to the same place. The difference is you want to return. I never wanted to stop being human." Edward took her hand that night. "If you decide to do it, I'll be with you." "And you?" He didn't answer immediately. "I don't know if I'd be human without you, but if you return, I'll do everything to follow." That dawn, Alice saw a fleeting image, a white room, a trembling body, a voice whispering, "Dad, are you okay?" And the answer gasping, "Yes, Nessie, I can feel my heart." The decision was on the table, the ingredients ready, the serum stored, and Carlisle only said, "One must go first, but we can't decide it with logic." And everyone fell silent, because what lay before them was not just a cure, it was a second chance, and each of them, in secret, began to wonder if they were ready to give up being eternal. The decision. Bella was the first to speak. I want to be me. Rosalie tensed. Edward lowered his head. Alice closed her eyes without looking at anyone. Bella continued, I chose this once. I chose this life not to lose Edward, to stay with Renesmee, but I didn't know there was another option, a second life. Edward gripped her hand tightly. What if it doesn't work? Bella smiled. Then at least I tried. The procedure. The room was isolated. Carlisle controlled every variable. The others waited in silence, scattered around the house as if holding their breath might help. Rosalie didn't go in, nor did she speak. She just sat on the porch, staring at the horizon. Bella lay on the steel table. Will it hurt? Carlisle nodded calmly. More than the transformation, but if your body accepts the reversal, you'll wake up with a heartbeat, with hunger and with fear. Then it'll be like being human again. Edward stayed by her side the whole time. Carlisle injected the first compound, then the second, a final protein meant to suppress vampire regeneration. In the first minutes, Bella screamed, convulsed, her skin burned as if breaking from within, but she didn't disintegrate, she simply changed, again. The next day, Bella awoke in bed, with cracked lips and a heart beating like it had never stopped. Edward cried for the first time in over 100 years. Rosalie didn't come near, she couldn't. Alice came downstairs slowly, her eyes wide. Are you? Bella nodded. I'm human. And everyone knew the world had just changed. Weeks later, Bella adjusted quickly. She ate, slept, dreamed, walked in the sun without fear, hugged Renesmee and noticed the difference in their temperatures. But weaknesses came too. I'm exhausted all the time, she'd say with a laugh, and Edward watched her like each moment might break. Won't you do it too? She asked one night. Not yet, he said. Not while there's a chance you won't survive a cold. I want to take care of you while you need it, and when you're ready to die human if you want, then I'll decide if I'll go with you. Bella cried, but not from sadness anymore. Rosalie went next. Not from regret, she told Emmett, but to rebuild. I want a real life, one with heartbeat, change, and a future. I want to see if I can cry from joy, not just from what I lacked. Emmett kissed her forehead. I'll wait, even if I don't do it. Rosalie smiled. You were always better than me. Carlisle declined. He said his work as a doctor was more useful this way. That centuries had given him perspective still worth sharing with the world. Esme hesitated, but she chose to stay. To keep us together, no matter how many change. Jasper and Alice didn't try. Alice couldn't stand the uncertainty. Jasper feared reliving the human pain of his past. My redemption is staying strong as I am, he said. Not going back. Charlie found out. When Bella showed up one afternoon at his house, cheeks rosy and heart beating, no questions were needed. I don't care how, he said. I'm just glad I can hug you and hear you breathe. Renesmee grew, more slowly, more gently, and with each passing year, her mother was still there, with soft wrinkles, slower steps, but alive and happy. Decades later, the Cullen family had grown smaller. Some chose the cure, others didn't. But they were still a family. Bella and Edward lived a quiet old age, a centuries-long love compressed into human decades. And when she died, Edward chose a path he never imagined, to stop existing with her. The cure didn't change who they were. It gave them something no one expected, a second chance to choose. And for an immortal, that's worth more than any eternity.